Okay, so we're going to run the 12th mission now, Hellbound. This one just starts without us having to pick a drop, so we don't need to worry about that. But what you do need to bring with you is a tranquilizer, pistol and sniper rifle with a suppressor, and D-Dog just to speed up a lot of the infiltrations and just to give you more awareness. We start by just sprinting ahead. Now this bit you can do very, very quickly. If you've got the patience, you can just keep running the checkpoint here. That's not something that I'm going to do though. This guy here's position can vary slightly. Sometimes you'll see when you're walking away here, sometimes you won't. So once we've got this bit behind us, we can sprint. It's essential that you do keep the pace up here, because when these guys are really aggravating, we need to get away from the helicopter as quickly as possible. So use the dive to give you some acceleration down there, and you might even get past these guys without them spotting you. If they do spot you, you can crawl. As soon as you see them turning around to come down the stairs to get you, you can just run and then dive just behind these stairs here, and you'll get away from them nicely. Obviously I'm going to keep crawling just till the helicopter's gone over. That's out of our way, so we can sprint. Now you can't continue to sprint on this bit because there will be a guy either approaching or above that already, and he will spot you as you go up here. Crouching there won't be a problem, and he won't get down in time anyway, which sometimes sees you about now. He's blind today. So there's a dude down below on the spotlight, which annoys me.
Extract Emmerich, the scientist who wants to defect. Head for the base camp.
The map has been updated.
Watch the mines on the right there. Okay, so we'll just check that there's a bit of a weird lighting on this bit. I find it hard to see exactly where the searchlight is. You can sprint it now if you want to, but it's not worth it if you've got through there quite well, because that searchlight is a little bit annoying sometimes. Right, so these guys here, we're going to take them down even though we don't necessarily need to. Oops. And just faulting them just to clear up any kind of issues you might have behind you, which we don't want. And then we can just start sprinting. We're going to run for a little bit now, and you could call in the horse if you want to, but you aren't going to get any time benefit as far as I'm aware. Purely because by the time you've called it in, dropped it off, and then you sprinted to the next area, you're going to need to bin it off in about 30 seconds anyway. Another alternative, if you're really desperate to speed this up, is you can have the horse with you all the time, memorise the positions with D-Dog, which is not difficult. Don't call him in, have the horse to begin with, get to the point where you drop those two guys, and then you can start riding the horse here. And I'm sure that if you went on the other side you'd get past these guys quite easily, so hung off the side of the horse, and that'd take you into the next position quite well. You aren't going to struggle with time on this, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So we're going to run past another little guard area on the left, and then we're going to run past some guards guarding a container, which you will have time to grab if you fancy it, but again, there's no point if you're going for speed doing stuff like that. Sprint all the way past these guys, they're miles off. Same with them. There's just these coming up in a second we can't like sneak past. Can't run past. Right, so it's these three here that will slow you down a little, but Not that much. So once you get to the rock, just chill out. Sprint that bit again, just for the sake of time. And then hugging the rock on the right as much as we can. We're going to walk, just crawl away from this guy who will spot us. And as soon as he does, we're going to dive. And then we're going to keep going. You need to dive straight away so he doesn't end up coming down the road where you break cover. So we get him about that far away, we can start to walk again. When you get to the green grass, you can sprint. So it just avoids you getting up too early and then triggering him to come and follow you a bit, which can be a bit frustrating. Okay, so now we're entering this large base. There are some mines up ahead in a minute, so just be aware of that. Just sprint the whole thing. Okay, so this is where you're going to see a mine, usually. I had absolutely no intention of walking into that mine then. That was the... I'm just going to restart that checkpoint. I had no intention of walking straight into that mine then. It was the weird audio glitch that just wrecks everything in this game. Always seems to happen at the most unopportune mines, moments like that. So I was just going to knock us back a little bit, that is unfortunately, sorry about that. But I don't fancy doing the whole thing again. I don't know if many other people are having that problem, because I googled it the other day and it doesn't seem very frequent, but you just get kind of fuzzing sound for your speakers and then it just makes your controller lose response. So back here again, hopefully the game won't sabotage me this time. And that's the only real defence that's there. Now you can get a little bit of a sprint in here if you want to. I've already had that shocker, so I'm already feeling a little bit miffed. Now you just have to not be in the lit patches here as you go through. You'll be alright. If you're too far to the right, that guy will see you because of the light, and also those guys behind you. Then when you get under there, you can give yourself a bit of pace. Now, there's a guy on the top left over there, and there's a guy on the right at the doorway. If he is... What? How did that not hit him in the face? What a tragedy today. If that guy there is on the right hand side, then you have got problems because you won't be able to Fulton this fella. Should be alright. So we will walk across, and depending on the speed that it takes to get you here, he'll either be so close you're gonna have to, he'll either be here and you're gonna have to drop him, or he'll be really far away and you've not got any problems. So this bit is worth just crawling about, because otherwise you'll give yourself issues from there. There's two dudes down here we're going to need to drop. I don't think any of these ever have helmets or... Oh, he says. So you shouldn't normally end up with that issue happening there. But that's caused me additional problems in this one, which is annoying. So we'll skip all these cutscenes. remember the way out.
Okay, I'm sending a chopper close by.
Extraction.
Into the LZ with Emmerich.
The base.
Hang
Support
on a sec.
helicopter
Let's use
requested.
the walker gear I
Mission
developed to
info
escape.
has been
There's a
updated.
special
Map
one here
has
at the
been
lab.
updated.
Only I can activate it, and I'll tell you how to operate it.
Ignore Emmerich. We don't need his...
So you have to be very quick on that bit, because that's going to trigger 2 people to go and have a look.
Why don't you use that walker gear of his? No way.
It's not the end of the world. You're going to get a lot more guard movement if you've made a mistake like that, but I've never had that problem before because I've never assumed, well, I've never seen them with helmets on, and my assumption there has cost me that time.
Boss, think back. 9 years ago.
Either way, you'll still drop those 2 guys and you'll still end up Fultoning both of them.
They turned out to be Cypher's strike force. It was Emmerich who brought them there. He's been underground ever since, working with Cypher.
I had no idea. I thought the inspection was real. I swear it. If anyone's to blame, it's you, Snake. We should never have had that meeting. That's the reason Mother Base was destroyed.
It'd be great. It'd be great if Emmerich didn't talk over that. So I could have actually heard what was going on, but never mind. Nothing is different because that guard called in that whatever. Don't worry about that. You would have to be a guy with a helmet, wouldn't he? That guy usually won't spot you there because he won't have been alerted. These guys here, just forget about them and just run straight for the point. To trigger the cutscene, which you need to either watch or skip. And you do get a checkpoint here, which sometimes you might need to use. Depending on how the fight with the Metal Gear goes, which can be a bit variable. So we'll skip this.
Extraction arrived at
You want to run past him as much as you possibly can, and then call in your helicopter from here, pick up at the furthest one. If you don't run past him, he will knock you over with the foot stomp, so run past him. Now this is just very random. He's either going to hit you, he's not going to hit you, he's either going to see you as you run, or he's not going to see you when you run. Sometimes it's worth pausing behind things like that just to try and break his line of sight, but I'll show you where I normally lose him because this bit's really annoying. If you lose him too early, you'll end up with the little scanning pods up ahead, which will make it even more annoying to get to the next position. That's why I recommend just running like hell. See if we can trigger the helicopter this time.
You're not out of the woods yet. All right, the chopper's touching down.
So hiding behind that rock there will have lost him, his line of sight. Even if we get spotted now, we should be able to get into the helicopter. If you have a problem doing that, which 50% of the time you will, on the left here is a large rock on the side there. Make him see you at that rock, on the other side of the rock, and then run round it. By doing that, he will lose track of you. Or you can go to the place where I went. This bit here, you have to fight against the stupid wobbles of the helicopter to shoot down. This last one's a nightmare. Fight against the helicopter, shooting down. Don't let the gun overheat. Because as soon as it goes in slow motion, you have to absolutely smash him, and then he's gone. And then that's the mission done. So it's a really easy mission once you know where the guards are. as I say, there's no reason for you to even get a checkpoint on it, unless the game decides that you have to walk into the directional mine. If that's the case, then you just have to just ban it and get on with it. Which is great. I mean, even if I'd hit the mine, I could have got past the guards, I guess, but nah, it's just worth restarting the checkpoint. You get so many points doing that mission anyway, it's not really a problem. So you can avoid the reflex by not being on the combat alert thing or the alert, and you would get the perfect stealth as well. I think the most I've ever got is 220,000 on that one. So there you go, Hellbound episode 11. It's probably one of the best missions. The problem doing them to get S rank is you just destroy any kind of joy out of everything and just make it into a really machine-like process. But okay, hope that helps.